comfortable with this. I'm just going to keep it here, but we'll keep moving.
Yeah, I think we're going to be a little bit more north or to the west.
Back towards the ridge, yeah.
Works for me.
And tomorrow we're going to be heading to the north of Bajo de Seco. It's a protected area, 6 months of the year. It's a well-known mesophotic reef and also area known for the spawning aggregations of Nassau groupers. So that's off the west coast of Puerto Rico. So I'm excited about that dive because I'm expecting probably something like this, high diversity.
Steps of carbonate, overhangs.
Yeah.
Good
hopefully a lot of fish and a lot of corals and sponges, what we've seen today.
Overhangs are a little bit more barren. On the left-hand side of the screen here at 9 o'clock, there's a white fan. Can we get a better image on that?
Copy that.
I think we saw one a little bit deeper. I just wanted to make sure it's the same morph we're looking at here.
Go with extra lights.
Let's do it. Okay with that, pilot?
Yes. Okay. Swing it over to starboard a bit. Feel free to come in as you please, video. Let me know when you're at full zoom.
Very, very fragile.
Coming back to port.
Is that Chrysogoria?
Yeah, I'm going to try and get this piece that's a little bit closer to us. There we go.
There's actually some sargassum on the base of this. I can see one, there's one shrimp associated, but it's on the back side of the, where we're looking right now.
Okay.
So it's a little bit tough to see, but.
And there's something in these, you see?
Yeah, I wonder if those eggs? Are, just yolky.
Coming up a little
polyps
bit if you want to zoom out a little bit
that
more.
Could
to get
indicate
the, full specimen.
Egg production.
Just trying to find out where these eggs are, where they were talking about.
Oh, there's a fish right there. Shrimp. To the left. Oh, excuse me, shrimp.
Shrimp.
Sorry.
Oh, and
squat lobster.
Squat lobster.
Yeah.
That's
Eating
a different
something.
Squat lobster.
It's eating something. It's
got
something in the claws. That squat lobster. It's a larger shrimp on the lower right too. Hidden under the rock, but I think he's gone. All right, science is clear with this octocoral.
Video, if you're clear, I think we're starting to get a little bit of wash.
Lights are clear.
All right, feel free to come off with the fog lights.
Lights off.
Okay, picking up. Moving over.
Turn your lasers back on.
Copy that, thank you.
So before this expedition, we, and during the expedition, we've been working with a number of fishermen around Puerto Rico that have been, they actually gave us some of their coordinate sites of where they do fish some of these snappers, so we really appreciate that. So it's nice to hear that they're still participating in these calls, and I've been receiving messages from them how excited they are to see, you know, queen snappers alive and in their habitat, because it's very rare that we get to see these fish in their natural habitats, because these habitats are so deep.
Co-pilot, if you want to come on with the lights, if that's all right with video.
Yep.
Let's do it. Might be able to shine it up in here and
lights on.
See if anyone's home. Which I do not see anyone. Oop. They don't come in.
Shrimp on the upper right.
Yeah, Nav, I think that's got us on a pretty good track.
Yeah. The 290s there.
Yeah, I think.
Right. Feel free to come
Yeah,
out.
copy that.
Yeah, it looks good.
Keep putting over. And we're all set with those lights, I believe. Co-pilot.
Roger. Lights off.
Thank you.
Yeah, we might have to adjust as we come around the horn there. But
Thanks, Bridge.
They want to give
Yeah,
us
we'll
a
keep an eye on
rotate
it.
right just to see the strike.
I'll wait till he gets a little further
copy.
before you move though.
Okay. Is there anything of particular interest, science, that you would like to see, other than urchin Olympics and?
Did
So if I see anything more in the future, it might be better to kind of line up with this face and get both of my toes in first.
Yep. Pilots, we don't have anything in particular right now. We just like to scan along and keep the camera pointed generally on the upwards so that we can see fish in the distance.
Copy that.
We are deciding whether to collect one of these like fan-shaped sponges, since they are probably the most common sponge in this area. But they still seem pretty common, so we do find. I believe we're going to see these sponges tomorrow.
Watch leads Nav.
Yeah, Nav.
Hey, just an FYI and a reminder, the only one we have left available that has nothing in it is our port side, but it has that crab in there. So if we do open it, it could possibly swim out.
Understood. Thanks for that.
But we're willing to, sample anything you need.
Copy that video.
Nav, while I have you on the line, what's our remaining bottom time look like today?
Sure, let me take a quick look here. We have about an hour and a half left.
Okay, come into a little bit
more.
of the blue water video. It looks like there's a Brasingid starfish
Did you catch
down
that
there,
watch leads?
or a crinoid.
Hour and a half, you said?
A little bit more.
See what you're seeing.
Thanks.
So it's right almost on lasers now. Spread out. Spread eagle.
Yeah, crinoid. Oh no, that's a spiny urchin. Pencil urchin.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get you another move here at 270 because it looks like it's kind of coming around there and you're starting to get out.
Good copy.
So, you ready for that, co-pilot? I'm going to put him in at 270.
okay, how long is the move?
That's going to be 20 meters.
Copy, 20 meters, 270.
Yep, just keep an eye on your sonar there because we are tilted away from the move to watch him along the face there.
All right.
So, that's what we're going to be using. Bridge, RV Nav. We're ready for a move. 20 meters at 270, 0.2 knots. Good copy.
Would you center?
You'll probably start to feel some tether here.
Copy
A little bit.
Would you center?
So el plan
ROV
para
series
mañana
like that?
vamos a
You want me to
bucear
be down some?
Yeah.
norte de Bajo de Sico.
There you go.
Ooh,
Es
that's a
un
old
arrecife
arch right
de profunda oeste de Mayagüez
You might feel a pull here shortly.
en Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Starting to get to the end of my leash. Video, would you mind doing a quick snap zoom?
Looks like it might be eating something. It's on top of something.
Could you pull up your top side when you're done with this too? So I can see the...
Oh, it looks like it might be eating a black coral. This urchin.
Perfect, yeah. Okay, thanks.
It's right on top of one of the...
Left.
Can we get a closer look?
Yeah,
into
we're just waiting on the tether, but once we get a little bit more tether, we can.
Want to get the fish?
Oh, there's a small fish.
Sponge.
I think it might be different.
Right
below the sponge, right below your, yeah.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah,
looks kind of like a sculpin.
A little, yeah, it's one of
Laser's
those.
clear.
Scorpionids, yeah.
That's your tether.
I wonder if this one was in...
Coming back.
We saw this one in one of the sites. I forget which site we saw this one in.
Have to look at the coloration patterns on this and see if it's similar to this scorpionid here.
Feel free to zoom in.
600 meters.
Are you at the end of your leash?
Yeah, I'm ending my leash.
Scorpius.
Science, we can move in on this fish here and the urchin once I get a little more freedom.
I don't see this dark spotch on the dorsal fin though, but it's might be occluded.
Down a little bit more.
Max in.
It's max. Gotcha. Yeah, tether's pulling on me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll take a mental note of where this is. Explore a little bit more of the port, and then...
Laser's back on.
Wow, that's a...
So I think this is the 5th species of fish that we have observed during this dive.
Another big urchin.
Yeah.
That straight above right of laser.
So it seems like the sponges are kind of thinning
I
out
don't
out
have
here.
any tether there, video.
Just snap from here.
They're not so dense. Oh, this is a stock crinoid.
Just show it to them.
This is a relative of the sea urchin and sea stars.
Pull you back.
Also the basket star that we saw.
I am quite high. I need to...
Oh, there's like a small little fish right at close to 12 o'clock. You see it's like shining. It's more like at 3 now.
I do not see shining, but feel free to try and lead me.
Okay, so it's right below your lasers now.
Okay, do you want to zoom in and see if I can get a visual on him?
A little bit lower. Yeah, you see it? It's right next to, yep, right on your lasers.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Looks like another one of those green eyes. Free to come in.
Very tiny,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh, 8 centimeters maybe.
Max in.
Copy that. Trying to come down. Too far down. Right. I think I have enough tether if you want me to navigate back to that urchin that was...
Ah, yeah, can we, see if it was eating, it looked like it was eating a black coral. It was on top of a black coral. Not sure what it was doing.
See if I remember.
Hey, Stacy, this is Chris Ma.
Further up,
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Yeah, right
Hey, Chris.
right.
Talking about sideroid?
Yeah, it was on top of this black coral. Do they eat black corals?
There is increasing evidence that they do. I think the word some people use is bio-erode.
Okay.
Not only black corals, but other corals as well. I've been sort of I've made it sort of my little task to try and figure out what all these different urchins are, and so the one that we just passed, the one with the really long spines with the smooth surfaces, The closest I can get with that one is Calocitorus micans. The ones that I've seen in some of the pictures that I have, the specimens match, but the Johnson sea link pictures that I have access to are a slightly different color, but I think it's close enough. It's probably just variable, and there might be more than one species, but I think Calocitorus is probably a good name to put on that. At least it's close to it.
Yeah,
and I was just helping Steve with a similar, with the yellow urchin with all of the serrated spines, which I found as Histocitorus, and it actually says in one of the descriptions that the specimens are a tinge of yellow, and this is a dried dead one. So the fact that them as brilliant canary is probably a good sign that they all match up. But I'm really happy that you're taking a look at them close up, and I'll at some point I'll even try and forward the reference that I'm using for you, because it's very picture oriented, as we say, and is pretty good, as far as conveying the essence of each group across. But that could just be me. Anyway, I'll let you guys get back to it.
Did you see, while we have you on the line, we saw a number of sea stars in the beginning of the dive. I'm not sure if you...
I've been catching up. I saw a couple of them. I think there was a really nice distinct goniasterid that is called Astroceramus brachiactus. I didn't get a chance to sort of give it a good close look, but that seemed right. And there was a couple of other things that I need to look up, but they look like Ophidiasterids or other sorts of... When we're in this sort of deep sea but shallow end of the tropical Atlantic, you have these unusual kind of, they're kind of deep, shallow water type of groups. So Ophidiasterids are normally things you would see scuba diving in tropical reefs, but here you see them at 200 to 300 meter depths, and they're on the deep side, but they're kind of members of these shallow water groups. It's kind of odd, actually, but probably consistent with their evolutionary history for the area. There's also a couple of the snake stars that I've sort of been looking at, and I need to sort of show you the pictures of them, but I think there's one that you saw that is really distinctly, it's black and white and has like round or annulations on the arms. That's on some of the whip corals. That one's called Astroporpa annulata, and there's another one that was on your stylasterid coral that I think isn't a proper Urialia. It's called Hemiurialia. It's an oddball kind of ophiuroid, and it has all those interesting kind of color patterns on the arms, but they're really short, and they almost look for brittle stars. They're almost porcelain-like in appearance. They're very strange. I mean, they're not really, but they're very.
Yeah, they looks very smooth and rounded.
Yes.
Kind of. Skeleton.
Yeah, and those. Yes, and I think that one is Hemiurialia postulata. So it'd be nice to take a closer look at it to sort of make sure, but it is a very sort of unusual looking animal, so I think that's about right. But if we take a look at that, whenever the next chance to look at one of those big sidoroid urchins, if we just take another quick zoom on it, but even those big yellow Histocitorus things are really interesting, and I don't know what the serrations on the spines would be used for, especially since they're not covered over
I get blown pretty hard.
In fouling or kind of egg, barnacles and things like that. So maybe protect it.
Yeah, but I've been noticing a lot of them actually just scattered on the seafloor as debris, maybe some dead urchins in this area. But I see a number of spines that are just loose and scattered.
And I mean, there's that question. Sidoroids are kind of the quiet predators of the echinoderm world because they feed on stalked crinoids, among other things. But they're, who feeds on them is, I would guess the fish.
Right, there's a little too
as soon as you talk about urchins,
in
this kind of habitat and fish as predators, you start to invoke a lot of paleontology because sideroid urchins have a lineage that dates back to the Paleozoic, and and when you talk about Paleozoic animals, you're always talking about the evolution of jaws and things like that, and so what keeps sideroid urchins from being in shallow water or other habitats is some people have argued it's sterophagy. It's the invention of jawed fishes, and so there's a lot of interesting sort of paleobiology that's associated with sideroids, and now we're seeing them feeding on this. Is this sargassum or?
Yeah,
anyway, but
I'm not sure what that was. We were trying to get a good shot, but I don't think we're going to get it.
Yeah, but to me that the closest thing that matches in the reference I have is something called Calocitorus, but again I'll say that the ones that I've seen from some of the Johnson ceiling pictures are different colors, so it's kind of odd by comparison. But I think that's close. Anyway,
Right,
I'll let you get back to it. Definitely sort of been a fun dive, seeing all of these familiar faces, as it were. I've seen them in the monographs. I just don't, I've been trying to catch up with some of the pictures and whatnot, and I'll take a look at the uploaded still database after you're done. But thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks.
Have to back up
Always a pleasure. Bye-bye.
So that was our echinoderm expert, Chris Ma, from the Smithsonian Institution and the National Museum of Natural History,
Pilot, are you guys happy
providing
with
us
your
some
sonars?
interesting context about some of the echinoderms we've been seeing.
Bottom right toe on HV2.
Copy.
You'd have to get a low look looking up.
No. Go in.
Can't see the urchin.
All right,
There we go. Back on track a little bit. Yeah, I do think it's kind of working its way up to that black coral, but this is likely black coral, possibly in the genus Chrysopathes, that we haven't seen extensively on this expedition. We've seen a couple of other members in the genus Chrysopathes, but they've been much deeper and they've been more planar. This colony doesn't strike me as being planar. It's kind of got branches coming out of all directions from what I can see. But yeah, I would say that's predation. When you get caught with your, I don't know, oral surface in the cookie jar, I guess it's kind of hard to back out of that one.
It would be interesting to see if it would just kind of flop off to see if there's any type of tissue that was.
Yeah, I think it's more of like a steady nibbling. There's not a lot of tissue on a lot of the branches. It's very branchy, but as Chris was saying, there's a lot of bioerosion potentially going on, erosion of the skeleton, the black coral skeleton. I haven't seen very many of these.
All right.
The spines are insanely long.
Yeah.
It's got to be at least 25 centimeters across from spine tip to spine tip.
Sure.
It's tough to get under there to get a good look at the oral surface while these things are chomping down.
that sufficient, Roland? All right.
Watch lead, this is Nav.
Hi, Nav. Yeah, so the plan is we want to try and stay a little bit below the edge. We want to look kind of upslope under these crevices, and if we're too high up on these ledges, we can't really see the fishes underneath. So we want to stay just underneath, but not too far down.
All right, co-pilot. Did you hear that? Okay.
Yeah, they seem to be around 415-ish.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Right here, this crack.
Yeah. Can we do a snap zoom on is that a piece of woodfall?
Good video on
the heading, and then I can make a move a little bit farther away.
Maybe it's debris. Looks like it's like some type of metal as it it's splayed out like this. I don't know if it's bark or if it's.
That's tough.
So you think we should do like 280 or more like
come out video?
You see how it's kind of.
Okay. Can you tell the size?
Yeah. So it's about. The two lasers are 10 centimeters apart. So this would be about 30 or 40 centimeters long.
I think it's longer than that. I think it's probably 4 lengths.
Or 40 to 50, you think, Roland?
Yeah, I would estimate about 40 to 50.
Okay.
You know, it looks like there is a line attached to, right?
Yeah, on the one side, it looks like it could be a line attached to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a weight.
It could be a weight.
It's called deep drop weight. It's typically used for fishing this kind of deep fish.
Okay. So this is what you use to fish the deep water fish. Yeah, right here is a fishing. Yep.
Yep, that is correct. You know, typically in the past was lead used, but due to the expensive, many of the fishermen are using a padded shaft and use that piece of iron as a weight.
Okay. Interesting.
Instead of using lead.
And the reason for, is it cheaper or?
Yes, it's less expensive and it's easily available. And you can see probably the line going down.
Copy that.
So he gets hooked under the edge here on the picture, and probably a couple hooks there. And when the fisherman was pulling out, a break, or in many cases a chart taking and break the line, and eventually the weight drop off.
Okay.
All right, let's start with 20. Bridge, this nav.
Very interesting.
There's a fish behind there, right?
Oh, there's a fish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an egg case on that black coral there. Looks pretty fresh too. Might be some sort of cat shark egg case maybe, or other shark egg case. This mermaid's purse shape. Can we look at the egg case behind
There's a shrimp
or in
right
front
there.
of the fish as well?
Yeah.
So that was Ricardo Lugo. He's a local fisherman from the Boquerón Fishing Association, located on the west coast of Puerto Rico.
All right. Copy.
This is a very interesting giant chunk of carbonate. It's kind of forming this archway. A lot of life around here in this little relief that occurs. Yeah, I don't know. This definitely looks like a mermaid's purse. Egg case of some type. Seems a little covered with hydroids and debris, but as far as egg cases go, it's one of the fresher ones we usually see on corals this deep. So I wonder if it could still possibly be something living in there.
All right. Video, did you need additional footage of the fish?
I think just maybe lasers on it.
Okay.
We had the lasers before, we need the full screen. Video's clear.
All right.
Thanks.
Yep.
That little bump had a lot of the stellastrid hydrocorals too, the Stichopera.
Great.
Another holopus down in the lower center. Something waving around here.
Yeah, I think it might be either brittle or crinoid.
Come in if you want it.
At 3 o'clock, or sorry, 9 o'clock.
Left side.
Left side.
There's also something waving around under the rock there. Just curious what that was.
Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah. All right. Just a crinoid.
I think we should go back to the object you were looking at.
All right, thanks.
What is that?
Ah, there's a holopus.
So,
You can see the backside of it for once. It's sometimes hard. They're usually on the rock, but you can see this really hard stolon type structure that's attaching stalk.
Maybe one more bump.
It's attaching it to the rock here.
Yeah.
They're so cool looking.
Yeah, ancient.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were mentioning the quote unquote living fossils. And these definitely are pretty ancient looking.
Maxine.
We did manage to collect one on a previous expedition I was on down here in this vicinity, and they're quite stony. They're really hard, and once they get curled up, it's pretty much impossible to get them loose again.
Video's clear.
Pilot's clear.
Nice looking. Thanks.
Yeah. Let's keep following these scours here.
Copy bridge, move complete.
Pilot, can we, the rock that we were just looking at to the left, can we just go on the other side? Just, there's maybe a couple other species of shrimp.
Yeah. Over here?
Yeah, right on the other side.
Come in. Is this what you're talking about? That guy? Where am I? Copy. How long is the move? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should be fine.
All right.
Tough to tell. There's at least 1, 2 in view right now.
Yeah, then there was 1.
3 on top.
He's kind of.
Let's see the heterocarpus.
Let's see what else we got
on top. There's a small little one, and
Can just
there's
see
one
it.
right there on the.
Oh, that's a big one.
There's a bunch of corals on this rock the deeper we look. Yeah, I mean, the one immediately in the background looks like the one we collected not long ago. But I'm noticing more of these small chrysogorgiids, kind of shaped like a black cluster of polyps. And I wonder if they're just young colonies or if it is something different. It's not something we've seen a lot, but they are small, only a few centimeters in diameter across the entire colony.
It's a small little shrimp.
So these could potentially be prey items?
Yeah, they found in the buccal cavities of these queen snappers quite a few shrimp and some squid.
All right, thanks, video. I think it's the same fish in the background that we imaged earlier.
We were trying to get some images of that egg case on the black coral.
Side, I think.
It looked fresher. We were marking it looked fresher than most other egg cases. It wasn't at least split from the side that we can see, but it was covered with a bit of hydroids.
Snap it? I think they're the same.
Oh, there's 2. They're pretty common.
Could let it go, video. Same guy. Thanks. All right. All right, onward. Here we go.
Do you want to make the next move along the edge of the ridge or a little bit more north?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Right at the bottom, left.
Okay. Red sponge?
I
Maybe
think
debris?
it's debris.
Go ahead, Burridge.
Tough to tell. It's partially buried. Although, whatever this black coral is, it looks like it's growing on top of it, or just on the margins, maybe. Although this discoloration here makes me think it could be something encrusting. But I don't know if we'll ever know. It's pretty buried.
There's a lot of black coral at this site. Sponges and black coral.
Sponges, black coral.
Sorry, never mind.
A little bit deeper, we were seeing a fair amount of primnoids, as well as a couple plexaurids. Sponges are definitely dominant, although there's quite a number of stylastrids as well. I think numerically the stylastrids might outnumber the sponges, but they're much, much smaller.
There's your
mystery
coral.
Yep. We'll know in a few hours, I guess. Or maybe we won't, depending on if I can get to the microscope tonight or not. I think we've made some pretty representative collections today. We've managed to collect, I think everything except the sponge we collected had one or more associates, which is great. We have two suspected, or two octocoral collections, one plexaurid and one potentially other octocoral family that we haven't quite settled on yet, as well as a large sponge that was about a meter long. We took a small piece of it to better identify it. It seems fairly representative for this area, but couldn't be immediately identified.
Just past that rocket.
Do you want to make it longer?
1 o'clock.
25, 30? Copy.
Where is it, Ron?
It's top of the screen. Where that white, bright white thing is, it's behind that rock.
Bridge, this nav.
It's pretty far out there.
You ready for the next one? It's going to be
was it
range 30 meters, bearing 270 degrees.
Very small.
Speed
flashing.
I think I saw someone hide behind this rock roll.
I think there's something red under this sponge. Pilot right
That's
at...
good copy.
Oh, okay, here's...
Okay, and we're moving, boys.
I think I saw something
Kick on the extra lights to look under.
scurry in here for cover. Come in partial if you want it. Sure, yeah.
There's a couple of tube worms under there that I can see.
These look like they're euplectillid sponges. You could see the seed plate.
All right.
Lights clear.
Copy. Ooh.
Oh.
Pretty cool. Urchin.
There's right at 11 o'clock, there's something reddish under that sponge.
You copy?
Snap zoom on that, please.
Yep. Video that's coming partial.
I don't know. Maybe that was the encrusting red sponge.
Could be a buried sea star.
This looks like a star.
Is it a star? Kind of looks like a sponge because it's attached to the... Yeah, I think it's a sponge.
Copy. You come out a little bit, Roland. Come back in.
Yeah, I think it's a...
Call it a sponge for now.
Sponge. Thanks, pilot.
Yeah. All right. Pilot's clear when video's clear.
There's looks like a couple shrimp on the side of this little wall. Can we maybe sap zoom?
Where are they? Let's see.
They're like right at 12 o'clock. Yeah.
Got it. Come in. There they are.
Looks to be on some sort of zoanthid in the upper left.
Yeah, on the sponge. Yeah, it seems like these shrimp love these little overhangs.
Several shrimp as you rotate right.
Can we snap soon? There's something right, like with a lot of branches to the left. If you keep on moving, it's off screen. Oh, it's sargassum. Yeah, it's sargassum.
Big chunk of sargassum wedged on a rock there.
Copy.
Oh, one of those fish. So the one that we saw didn't have the dot. The one before this didn't have a dot by the caudal
really?
fin. Yeah. So I wonder if it's a variation or maybe a female.
Yep.
But wrasses usually change sex. A lot of them. Oh, there's a bigger, or is that the same fish? Maybe it's the same fish.
The same one.
I think it's pretty much wedged in there.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's unusual. Yeah.
Next video.
I think it's only been imaged before with that splotch on the tail fin.
Yeah, the last one that we saw didn't have a splotch. So you can see the ripples in the sand. It's maybe an area with some high currents.
Purple upper left.
Oh yeah.
Fish.
Fish behind the rock here too.
Frame it up, please.
Fish looks much more darker. Dark red color than the ones we've previously been seeing.
Laser's clear.
Copy.
All the fish down here look kind of grumpy.
I'd be pretty grumpy too if I didn't see the light.
Probably because the shrimp keep hiding under the rocks.
Maybe.
Copy bridge, move complete.
I'd be pretty grumpy too if I had a big ROV shining lights in my face. I guess. I'm sure they mean well. They just misunderstood.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, pilot. There are a couple of shrimps. I'm noticing more of these small red shrimps, not the walking shrimps we've been seeing.
Yeah, right under the...
Yeah, I don't think we have an ID on those yet. The heterocarpus was for that spinier...
Yeah, the one that crawls kind of along.
Crawler, yeah.
Yeah, but you could see them.
Next video. Awesome.
These plexaurids or acanthogorges, I can't figure out what we were calling them last. It was in the midst of those two families. I have some much larger colonies in this particular area.
So right now we're at a depth of 399 meters. Been kind of going along this ridge-like feature, or outcrop feature.
Just take a peek off to starboard real quick.
lift up a little bit, I can show you the distance.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We'll follow that ridge down. All right. We'll get closer view so that way we can see if there's anything hiding under here. Take a peek here first. You frame it up. See what we see here. Hold that. Just a couple shrimp here.
There's a couple of small shrimp.
1, 2, 3. At least 3 of them in the right here.
Yeah, and these shrimp look very similar to the photo that Luis Roman, one of the fishermen, shared with me. That he was able to pull out of the queen snapper's mouth.
So you're talking about, Roland?
Yep.
Like a spiral tube or something.
It's kind of a crazy serpulid tube.
Yeah.
Very dense.
All right, pilot's clear. See any fish, go pilot.
Oh, actually, this is Nav.
I have.
Hello, I just want to let you know we have about 1 hour left on the dive.
Thanks for that.
It's a pretty large shrimp. I think we've seen this one before, but we could frame it up. Or snap it, I guess, for ident.
This looks like heterocarpus shrimp. We've been seeing these guys.
See if we can count his hooks on his horn. That's what they use to.
I really love their mohawk.
Okay, video's clear.
All right, pilot's good.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you want another 30 meters? Okay.
Come in. See if there's a similar shrimp.
white object is different. It's a broken shell of some sort. Upper left.
There's one of those Sidera tests up on the top.
Oh, yeah. So somebody
That's the other half,
is
too.
eating these urchins, even though they have wicked spines.
Pretty reflective.
Very white. That's the outside, and there's the inside.
They have a really thick test.
Yeah. Probably a good ½ centimeter or something like that.
That's cool.
This looks like a really big fallen over sponge.
It's not one that I remember seeing on this dive yet.
We'll look underneath of it from downslope.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to see if this is where it's attached or if it... How's that tether look, co-pilot? Copy. Come in partial
Excellent.
video. Trying to get under it as best I can.
I don't know if it's fallen, because those crinoids wouldn't be under there.
Let's look at those dots.
I think this is how they grows. Yeah, at first I thought maybe it was falling over, but...
Grab my rotator.
I wonder if those are small zoanthids on the inside. Speckled. Usually the speckles indicate it could be contracted zoanthids, but they seem to be all over the place.
Yeah, and underneath also.
Can we scan over the sponge and...
Yeah, let's come out partial, see if there's anything on it.
You know what? I wonder if these speckles are throughout the rest of the colony also. I think I see them, but...
Yeah, I see them on the white.
They're just more obvious on the part where the sponges died, and it seems a little bit more translucent.
I wonder if it's possibly gametes of some sort.
No, I don't know much about sponge reproduction. Usually we see them fragmented or budding.
This is an interesting sponge.
Hold that shot.
Holding. Probably done with lasers.
Bizarre.
Right by mine.
Can we confirm on the left-hand side if we have a chance to see where it's attached to the rock?
Yeah. Spin around it, you're saying?
At least I think it should be attached on the left-hand side.
Come out.
I think it
could be in the back also.
All right.
I think it's attached under that top disc.
It's hard to say. I don't see a clear attachment.
We've actually gone down about 10 meters since we reached the top of this feature, but I think that if we had continued to follow up
shrimps on the
track,
backside.
we would have put us in that sandy flat bit.